Hello, Land Academy. Welcome to our Thursday webinar. We've been doing this for a lot of years. And something new, I guess, recently is we've allowed our land investing general public to see the first, let's say, 10 minutes or so of the call. So welcome anyone who's new. I think you're there. Our producer says you're there, but we don't know. I'm Stephen Jack Butala. This is
And
Jill DeWitt.
Mhm.
And I hope you, she just kicked right in on the podcast. I hope you heard about us from
I
the pod.
kicked right down the wet.
You just said, and I'm Jill DeWitt.
Oh, I started
Just
to.
because
And
they're
I'm
all,
Jill DeWitt, and this is the Land Academy show.
hey, if you don't know about us or know about our podcast, it's pretty for our little silly investing type theories and
Niche.
group. Yeah, our niche, it's a relatively successful podcast. So check it out wherever you listen to podcasts.
It better be. It's like going on 10 years now.
Yeah,
Like, and Land Academy's
yeah.
going on 10 years
We've gone
now.
from 10 listeners to 14.
Yep,
So you could be the 15th.
exactly. All right.
The,
I
bi-
have a couple announcements that I want to make real quick here. So, for anyone on the fence and I'm gonna have let me back up here. We do twice a year now, an 8-week mastermind group. The second and final one for this year is coming up at the end of this month. I have decided to do a live Q&A session to go over what we talk about, go over the agenda, go over the schedule, go over all that good stuff next week. So I want to let everybody know this just was decided today. It will be next Tuesday, live, open to everyone. I don't know if it's going to be Zoom or if it's going to be Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is. I don't know that for sure. So to make sure that you're included and you get an invite, you need to be on our email list. So send a note to support@landacademy.com if you want to get an invite to that next Tuesday, and they will make sure, however it is, they'll make sure you're included in it. It could be a closed Zoom call, but
I'm
it'll
going to
be,
go to it.
oh, you're coming?
Yeah, I have some
Okay.
questions for you, Jill.
Oh, good. I love that. I think that would be appropriate. That would be great. I'm happy to answer your questions.
Well, my first question is going to be, what are you really good at in land investing, and what do you just not care about?
Oh, that will be answered and more. Oh, I'm ready for that.
Like a self-assessment.
Oh, good. Oh, I will do all of that. So just remember next Tuesday, so October 15th, it's going to be, I think we settled on 12 o'clock Pacific. So it'll be 3 o'clock Eastern, but you will get all the information coming via email. And it's going to be, again, I'm going to answer all your questions, go over the 8-week agenda, tell you everything that's going to be covered, who this is a good fit for, the scheduling, all of that, and answer all your questions live next week about the Land Academy. It's our 8-week mastermind program, and it's called Career Path, is what that is. So,
Thank
hey.
you, Land Academy members, for loading up your deals for us to review. There's
Mhm.
a bunch in here this week already, just in the first few minutes of the call. So we'll
Yep.
certainly be able to get to them, and it helps us manage our time here. If for anybody else in the group and the Land Academy group, if you had deals, please load them up as soon as possible so we can gauge how much time we spend on each potential transaction. Is there anything else here you want us to talk about, housekeeping wise, before we answer the question?
Thank you.
Our staff has put in a question of the week, and we will happily answer it here. It's what's the best strategy for scaling a land business after the first few deals? Well, I love this question, but before we get to it, let's talk about what's supposed to happen before you get to the first few deals. I see Jill and I have been doing this now for almost 10 years, and what I see very new people doing, brand new people, is being concerned about how much money I make it, and I'm going to try to get to 15 deals a year or whatever the numbers end up being. What I want you to do if you're brand new is be concerned with that one single first deal. And it'll probably be the hardest transaction you ever do because it's all new. Everything brand new is difficult. So if you've got that under your belt and you've done a few deals and you want to scale, and this, by the way, this business is very conducive to scaling. It's not, there's repeatable and scaling. If you start a McDonald's, you start another location or another location, that's repeating. Scaling is utilizing your resources and your existing tool set, let's call it, or asset set to make the business grow. And so scaling the business, after your first few deals, you're going to have to make a decision, in my opinion. So I'll jump in at any time.
Okay.
But the biggest, most important decision is, when do I hire or bring in outside help?
Or quit my job so I can do this full time.
Yeah.
So,
You need enough time and you need other resources, capital resources, money, and people.
you know, my answer is, first of all, no matter what, I want you to do this until it hurts. No, I'm not kidding. I want you to do this until it makes financial sense. It makes so much financial sense that you're like, for example, quitting your job, because that's a big thing that happens here. That's the goal for a lot of people. I don't want to do this anymore. I make a great income and I want to replace it and just, have an easier life, be able to travel around like you guys weirdos are in your RV where we're sitting, because that looks like so much fun. So
Most of the time it is,
yeah, often it is.
often.
Often. Not 100%, but between 90 and 100, it's great. So I want to do that. I want to have that kind of a life. I want to quit my job. Okay, hold on a moment. So my first answer for that is you should do it when you have so much money in the bank that you've got 6 months or a year of your income covered. And now you're starting to, so that's number one. And number two, you are starting to tell yourself, now I'm losing money, because that happened to both of us. Well, you did it differently, but it happened to me during our
Oh,
time
I
together.
did it just
The
like
same
that.
thing, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was a time where you go, "Well, I am now losing money staying at my day job because the deals I could have been closing in that time would have made more money. And then I have all this in the bank to fall back on. Now I do that.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to go, I wish I would have quit my job a year ago. That's when you feel like you could have that conversation, then you know it's the right time. Don't do it too early. And then but the part about hiring and getting help and things like that, gosh, that's very subjective depending on volume. Because if you're doing a deal a week, you could probably handle a deal
Deal
a
of the
week.
week.
Maybe if you're doing 2 deals a month, you think, what do you think?
Here's the thing.
Okay,
Your job in life, in this business, is one single job. It's to locate undervalued property
true.
in real estate and then create an acquisition out of that. So it's one thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that's going to stop you along the way. Naysayers, lack of capital, lack of time,
Kids.
and all that stuff. And for me, the biggest thing that was stopping me was there's a bunch of crap in my professional life I can't stand doing. So I hired that very first employee. This is just a million years ago. And I brought her in and said, she was, I
Debbie
want you
number
to do
one.
all the stuff. No, it was way before that.
Oh,
All the
okay.
stuff that I can't stand doing. And she said, okay. And that just changed my life. I didn't have to do it, and we don't have enough time to talk about the things that are unpleasant to do when you run a business, payroll and all kinds of other stuff,
But you had to be
administrative
cash
stuff.
flowing
Yeah,
to do this first
I did
and
all the
feel
stuff
comfortable.
wrong and too late. All of it. That's
True.
the joy of Land Academy. You don't have to, you
Our,
don't have to do.
our mistakes can be your successes.
So the best way
Yeah.
to scale your business after a few deals is to take a look at your resources, do a resource assessment, time, money, and labor, and then decide where the hole is.
Yeah.
If it's a person, bring in an extra person. Hopefully, you have somebody in your family that you get along with in a professional environment, and ask them to start doing some stuff that you don't want to do. So you can focus on that one thing, which is creating the whole. You should ask yourself, if I didn't have this job, I didn't have this wife, I didn't have all this stuff, I could do 3 deals a week, and I'm only doing 1 deal a month. And if the answer is, wow, that's really, I have that kind of confidence. I have a peer group in Land Academy that I think is going to work for me, then you should go for it. If you're still really concerned, don't do it. Just wait until you're so confident that you're going to take the plunge.
I agree with all of that, but one little side thing. I wouldn't hire the family.
Yeah. I mean, hire somebody, hire the kid down the street or somebody you know, or somebody online.
Yeah, you can get that.
That was
You
just an
know,
example.
I think what you just said is perfect though. The thing that you hire, the position that you first hire for is the person that's going to do the stuff that you hate with a smile and better. That's the key. If you it's so sweet. One of our personal coaching folks does not want to talk on the phone. but the person that she had talk on the phone is not with their company anymore. And so now she's talking on the phone, which I think she sounds great, but she's like, Jill, you have to remember this is not in my wheelhouse. I'm like, I get it. That's really not what she wants to do. She's the interim person and she sounds great. So it's getting done, but I know a position that you know who you are right now that I'm sure you're gonna find a replacement for real fast. So this is good.
So we're at about 15 minutes past the hour. We're going to move on to the membership portion of the Thursday call. If you have any questions about membership or anything else, email support@landacademy.com.